Hi, welcome to FPV Reviews. My name is Spike, and today I'm going to show you how to make a scale cockpit for your model airplane. This is particularly interesting if it's an FPV airplane, because it'll give you something to look at while you're flying. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished, and we'll show you how to make it. Here we have the Skywalker 1900mm by BEVRC.com. And this cockpit is going to replace the canopy. We simply take off the canopy and it slips in just like the canopy was. It gets held in here by the same screw, right here. This scale cockpit also has room for your GoPro. Although while flying it can also be seen by your FPV camera. So here's what you'll need. Some scraps of balsa, or alternately some foam board and photo paper or cardboard like a cereal box. You'll need a razor knife, also some clippings from your favorite aviation full-scale magazine. I find they contain photos of full-scale cockpits out of real airplanes that can be cut out and pasted or glued to your cockpit to look like it has real instruments. Also, you need a permanent marker. And finally, your favorite stuffed toy. You might want to give him a scarf so he doesn't get cold. Start with a couple of pieces of scrap. Cut them as shown and hold them in place while you glue them. Next, glue a runner along the bottom to help stiffen, one on each side on the inside of the cockpit opening. Also glue this piece on the back, sort of like a shelf, to keep the back part of the cockpit held down. Next, the areas in dark ink are the ones you probably want to put in first. Cut them to fit and glue them in now. Next, the areas that are shaded will be necessary. The one toward the rear is a shelf for the GoPro camera to fit on. The two in the front are to help stiffen the dashboard. They also provide a backing for the deck that you're going to put on later. And finally, put the bottom pieces in. You want to make sure they don't stick down too far and interfere with the battery in the nose of your airplane. Okay, finally, you'll cut the deck to fit. Cut it out of a really thin piece of wood, maybe 1/64 balsa, or cardstock if you don't have that. Next, you'll need to make a couple of pieces that are toward the rear here for the GoPro. These will keep it from sliding from side to side and help stiffen the deck that you made for it. You may want to give the GoPro a slight tilt down as well. You can do that by putting a strip underneath the rear of it. It can be held in with rubber bands or tape or Velcro, however you feel is best. You want to color the cockpit black everywhere it will be visible. You do this to keep the glare out of the camera lens and also to make it have a realistic appearance. After that, cut out the individual instruments that you would like in your airplane out of the magazine and tack them in using super glue. You can put a little bit of it on the back and align it perfectly on the instrument panel. It should look something like this. You'll need to cut a hole in the deck with your razor knife to give you access to the screw that holds the cockpit down. Also, set a small washer inside and secure it with super glue. Now find a flat spot on a soda bottle or some other disposable plastic container. Cut it and lay it across here, mark it, cut it again, and then glue it into place. If you're using a camera on your scale cockpit, check its fit and make sure it fits in snug. You might want to secure it somehow. Also check that the lens has an unobstructed view. Having the camera in this position will provide about this view while you're flying, as recorded on the GoPro. So here it is in place on the airplane. But by now you might be wondering, what happened to Teddy? Well, if he's in the cockpit, his head gets in view of the camera, so this camera is in essential his view that he sees. So When does he get in the airplane? Well, we'll see here in just a moment. With a few more scraps you may have laying around, you can build this pod. This is a box on a stick, basically. It has a brace to keep it straight, and it uses a piece of Velcro to hold it on the wing. What this does, it allows the camera not to see the GoPro mount, but to see the cockpit like this. Now it's time to put Teddy in. So with the camera over here, the camera gets to see not the GoPro mount, but Teddy and the cockpit and a bit of view as well underneath the airplane. And it looks at the side of the nose. As an added benefit, you can put a servo in Teddy's head and make it turn, either with your aileron servo or with your head tracker, if you have one. This view will look something like this while you're flying, although we'll show some clips at the end of this how-to video to show you what the GoPro footage looks like in the air. I've also built another pod to go on the front of the Skywalker. This just holds the camera out far enough that it has an unobstructed view of the ground. Of course, it's angled down a bit like all the others. And as a general rule of thumb, you want the horizon about 2/3 of the way up on your screen. I also like to record on my pods the settings I use for the camera for that particular pod that work best, just so I don't forget them when I'm in the field. Also, don't forget to rebalance the center of gravity on your airplane for each pod and camera position, including the Bear. He weighs a little bit and has a servo in him, so don't forget about him either. I find the best place for this on my Skywalker is about 70 millimeters behind the leading edge of the wing. That brings you to the rear pocket of the wing spar. Thanks for watching FPV Reviews. We really hope you liked this video. We hope this helps you make your FPV project a lot more interesting and your videos into movies. We want to also encourage you to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out the Bearospace channel too. We'll put a link in the description here to take you to the full long version of the movie that was made with this airplane and this bear. Have a good one.